a little more professional, which can impress the client. Who knows? Hi, and welcome back to this second part of the camera rig guide. We have 3 parts. The first one was a full rig out for an interview setup. This is part number 2, which is a lighter rig setup for run and gun situations. And the third episode, which is coming later, is about rigging the camera on a gimbal. So what we saw last time in the first episode is that there is a lot of stuff going on to the full rig. That's great when we have an already planned stationary, static interview situation where we have an object in front of the camera and we are sit down on a chair or standing by the camera doing retakes in that same position. Many jobs consist of both interview and B-roll from different occasions, and let's say you are on a job for a fishing company which has rigged their boat out and want to tell you about that. We also need some B-roll from the actual ship or boat to complement the interview. So, what I and many of us use is the Sony FX3, which is really good for this kind of work. It's small, relatively lightweight, it can be rigged out a lot and rigged out minimal. The image quality is really good. It's 10-bit color. It's really light sensitive with dual base ISO. But the only negative thing I can see about this camera, or only really negative thing, is that we have an external ND filter and not internal, which may make it difficult when we're leaving the inside situation for filming outdoors in bright light. But this is a compromise we are willing to do based on the price we are paying for this kind of camera. It's still quite expensive, but compared to maybe the more expensive FX6, it's okay. And the FX6, for example, has an internal ND, which is really good. I have never tried it, but it looks really great for those kind of situations when you are frequently shifting from indoors to outdoors and vice versa. So what we can see on this camera, we have already mounted a small rig half cage, which lives on the camera permanently, at least for me. I guess for most people it does. And this camera has the possibility to mount different kinds of equipment. What comes with this half cage is also a cable management clamp, which can hold the HDMI cable in place if you are using that, for example, with an external monitor or other equipment. It also has a wrench for tightening screws, sits on here magnetically, and I like to have this handle here to secure the camera in my hand, so if I lose the grip, it kind of hangs from my hand anyway, and it also supports really good on the outside of my hand when filming. So, and in this situation, I have the Sony G Master 50 1.2 mounted to the camera, which is a fixed focal length and gives really great images. But Many times I also use the 2470, which is more versatile in a run and gun situation, which we are rigging the camera for now. But I have made full length videos for companies with only the 51.2. It works great. You have to move a little more and your image doesn't vary that much. With the 2470 you can vary between 24 and 70 millimeters, so you get kind of more diverse shots anyway, I guess, but that's a preference of taste, so do whatever you like. And I have the ND filter from Polar Pro, and it's a Peter McKinnon version. I don't know if I like this the best, or maybe I like some other brands, but it works okay, and it has stops from 2 to 5, which covers 80 to 90% of the situations. So in the package that you mostly get with the Sony FX3, we also have the XLR handle, which makes it possible to connect an XLR cable microphone, and it also can connect a mini jack for example, a lav mic system like I wear now. And then you can record audio in 4 channels, which makes it much safer, and you can have 32-bit float, which saves you from destroying the sound while filming, so you don't really need to be that nervous. We have a lot of knobs on this handle that can control audio peaking and stuff. Very important to check before you film. And the half cage package I bought came with a handle extension for this handle, which makes it a lot heavier, but it gives you an extra finger to hold the camera from. So we start with mounting this handle carefully to the camera. It is plastic, so it can break. Don't wrestle with this. Take your time to do this properly, and be sure to use that wrench to tighten it just enough. This way the rig is not that heavy, and you can actually hold it from this handle because it's secured with these screws. If you don't secure with these screws, you're risking the hot shoe from breaking. Put these covers in a safe place, in your briefcase or in your camera bag, so it doesn't disappear during work. And we also have have this Sennheiser MKE600, which is just enough affordable microphone, which gives you proper audio. It's a shotgun mic, which we mount to this clamp, just as we did on the full rig. And be sure to see the knobs here so you can check if the microphone is turned on or off. And very important, when you're outside, there is almost some movement in the air or a little wind, or at least when you move around, you will get some wind audio sounds into the microphone. So use this dead cat. Yes, it's called a dead cat, maybe because it looks like a dead cat, but use it to clear that unwanted wind sounds out from the audio. You've seen this in news broadcasts and stuff, so that's the reason for using this furry little friend here. At last, now we actually are pretty much finished with the rig for run and gun situations, but there can be a problem if you don't want uncontrollable sunbeams coming into the lens. So to avoid that, we use a matte box, which kind of is like a cap for your eyes. It's very nice to have that on the camera, and this flap can be used to block sunbeams out from the lens. If you don't do that, you can get unwanted flares, but of course that's also kind of a look, so if you want that, take this off. If not, have it on. And besides that, the matte box looks the camera a little more professional, which can impress the clients. Who knows? So here is the rig. That's all you need. If you're using a lav mic on a person, mount that also into here. If not, we have great audio from this mic, which is directional. And let's see if the camera turns on. It does. A little quick tip at the end of this video is that I experienced earlier today that I tried to turn on the camera and it didn't turn on, so I thought that the battery was flat. I tried more batteries, it didn't turn on. So probably I didn't push the battery firm enough into the slot.